Really excited to see the talent in that entry draft and see who we can add to our squad.
Goes Apuzzo, BC's all-time leader in goals and points, and that's why. There's a great pass and a great finish. Back and forth, saved by Schweitzer.
Marie McCool, being a Carolina girl, would fit right in.
McCool splits two and scores. Long shot bounces home.
With the first pick in the 2026 WLL Supplemental Draft, the Maryland Charm have selected Sam Apuzzo, attacker, Boston College.
Sam is a no-brainer. She is a competitor to her core. She is one of the most talented attackers I've ever seen and played with. So excited to be on the other end of that with her, coaching her. Her presence on the field makes defenses have to shift. So for us, she was a no-brainer first pick.
Yeah, follow up on Sam Apuzzo, like you mentioned, her versatility. Where do you think you're going to be utilizing her most? Is it on the offensive end, at that draw unit, or do you think it's sometimes just great to break up the BC offense like you see in the Boston Guard and bring her over to an opposing team?
I think anytime you can break up the BC trio, quadruple threats, it's a great thing. But honestly, she wants to be a part of everything. So wherever we can utilize her, we're going to. If we need her on the draw, we're certainly going to put her there. But at the end of the day, she's an attacker. She's going to put balls in the back of the net. And she just creates even more of a dynamic look for us with what we already have.
The second pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the Boston Guard have selected Kenzie Kent, attacker, Boston College.
Lori, how do you feel a lefty in Kenzie Kent is going to help you on that side?
We didn't have a lefty playmaker on the team, so I think that's going to complement our righty Dodgers really well. Going to complement Charlotte too, so she's the missing piece for sure.
With the third pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the California Palms have selected Marie McCool, attacker, North Carolina.
It's pretty obvious why we would pick Marie. She's an amazing athlete and will fit right in with the California Palms.
Maddie, following up with that, your speed was something in Champ Series for the Palms that was completely showcased. How do you think that adding Marie to your roster of midfielders is going to showcase well in the 10v10 format this summer?
She's very confident, so fast with and without the ball, and she's such a hard worker. We're so excited to bring that work ethic and leadership into the squad.
With the fourth pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the New York Charging have selected Sydney Scales, defender, Boston College.
So yes, we went with defense for our first pick of the draft. That was our main goal for the draft for the Sixes, and we're kind of continuing that defensive setup to help lead us to more championships.
With the fifth pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the New York Charging have selected Delaney Schweitzer, goalie from Northwestern and Syracuse.
So we went with defense again. We've obviously been really, really lucky to have Madison and Molly, and we're adding a third goalie to our pool right now with Delaney Schweitzer and her clearing ability, stopping the ball, and like I said, we're continuing on our defensive train.
Colleen, question for you on the defensive train kind of mindset here. Is that something that comes from just you as a coach, but also some of your defensive leaders like Kendall Halpern and Madison Doucette?
Definitely, and I'm obviously a defensive girl at heart, so I just think if we can anchor down there, then the rest will be able, a little bit smoother, especially with the college supplemental draft coming up in April as well. So if we kind of hone in on defense and make that like our heart of the team, the rest will be a little bit easier.
With the sixth pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the California Palms have selected Emma Lopinto, attacker, Boston College.
She is so high IQ, great attacker, and I think really fun to play with.
Maddie, what can you talk about you think she's going to bring from her basketball background that she's playing in BC, bringing that to the lacrosse field this summer?
That's so exciting. I think it's amazing. It's awesome as a role model to younger players. Her creativity and IQ and field sense will just be heightened, and then I think her energy is going to just bring us up even more, and we're so excited.
With the 7th pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the Boston Guard have selected Rachel Clark, attacker, Boston College.
She's just an automatic goal scorer, and I think her, Charlotte, and now Kenzie at attack is going to be pretty lethal. We had her at the All-Star game, and she was unbelievable.
With the 8th pick in the 2026 WLL Supplemental Draft, the Maryland Charm have selected Cassidy Spillis, midfielder, Rutgers University.
Yeah, I think when you look at Cassidy's pedigree from Rutgers, she was really impressive all over the field. Played some great 1v1 defense for them, was a stud on the draw.
With the 9th pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the Maryland Charm have selected Brooklyn Newman, midfielder, North Carolina.
I have had the privilege of coaching Brooklyn as her college coach. She's a do-it-all midi. She is a glue guy, and that's really what you're looking for in the midfield. She's done a really great job coaching after her graduation, so just building upon her knowledge that she already had from Carolina, not to be snobby, and just excited to have, a super strong midfield.
With the 10th pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the Boston Guard have selected Savannah Schweitzer, midfielder, Syracuse.
Savannah's just a proven winner. Sorry, Call, I'm breaking up the sisters, but she's a really hard worker. I think we need some depth at the midfield position, and she's the perfect person.
Laura, you mentioned the sister feud. Do you think that's going to play into elevating the Boston Guard New York Charging feud that we have going on too?
I'm sure it will.
With the 11th pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the California Palms have selected Jordan Dean, defender, UMass.
We love Jordan on the draw. Obviously also need to get some defenders down there.
How do you think her experience with Team Canada will help in terms of leadership and experience when it comes to bringing onto your team?
I think anytime you're a part of something bigger, it just adds to your perspective and good vibes, what you bring to a team, and you're able to work with different people a lot of times. So very excited.
With the 12th pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the New York Charging have selected Caroline Wakefield, defender, North Carolina.
Yes, we went with Caroline Wakefield, who's a very strong, powerful defender, can handle the ball and transition the ball well.
With the 13th pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the New York Charging have selected Sammy White, defender, Northwestern.
I totally meant it when we went for going for our heart of defense, and she's a strong midi as well. So we're looking to have our defenders be able to transition the ball, as we have been very attack heavy with our starting crew of last year. So building around that.
What do you think Sammy White can bring from her playing basketball this year at Northwestern as a multi-sport athlete to your squad?
Totally. I mean, I love it. It honestly, is kind of perfect timing because after 4 grueling years of lacrosse, you kind of want a little bit of a break, and then you get to come back to your main sport per se, but while learning so much in that off season. So I think we're going to get a refreshed Sammy White, who had an unbelievable career at Northwestern, now with a whole year of a different perspective, a different type of coaching, a different type of playing, seeing, odd, picks, slips, 2-man game, the way the basketball game is played. And for both defense and offensive purposes, it'll just help grow her game for us on the field this summer.
Colleen, having that familiarity between a few Northwestern defenders, is that something that you were going for here with this pick?
Totally. I think chemistry is everything in that unit. So being able to know, when people are sliding and when they're not, and just having 4 years or, 1, 2, or 3, however many times they played together, helps a ton.
With the 14th pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the California Palms select Katie Detweiler, defender, Loyola.
We are very happy to be adding depth to our defensive end.
Maddie, having played against Katie myself, and having a ton of teammates who have also played against her, they know that she's a force to be reckoned with. She gets in players' hands. Is that something that you're looking to utilize against maybe an opponent's top offensive player?
Totally. She has so much confidence. She doesn't care who you are, where you played, what you did. All she does care about is what she's doing. And how she can have her teammates back.
With the 15th pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the Boston Guard select Amy Moreau, midfielder, UMass. With the 16th pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the Maryland Charm have selected Erica Evans, midfielder, Maryland.
Erica's just a force in the midfield. Love the presence that she brings offensively. But just going midi heavy this draft.
With the 17th pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the Maryland Charmed have selected Nicole Humphrey, attacker, North Carolina.
Who doesn't love a good sister-sister combo on your team? I also had the privilege of coaching Nicole at Carolina. She's had a pretty decorated career as well. So just excited to get some of the squad back together. That means we'll have 3 Carolina middies. But really, she's a workhorse. She is similar to Brooklyn Newman in that we've got people who are going to put their nose to the ground and get going. And obviously, we've got really good natural chemistry between her and her sister. So excited to see that resurrected.
Emily, can I follow up on the sister angle here? Because I got to play in college with my sister and I know how special it is. So I think playing with a lot of that emotion gives a little bit of an extra, oomph to everything that those Humphrey sisters are going to do. Do you think that's going to help your team be even more together than they already are?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very interested. I didn't get the chance to coach the two of them together. So interested to see how the family dynamics play out. But I know that they're very close. They live together in New York City now. And so they've got someone to practice and train with. So it's a great opportunity for them. And I'm sure the team will welcome them with open arms.
Did you get any sisterly advice from Ashley Humphrey on Nicole while you guys were playing at Champ Series? Maybe a little whisper in your ear, say, hey, pick up my sister.
Certainly value our players' opinions on people that they've played with, especially if it's a family member. But, at the end of the day, Nicole's good in her own right. So I got an inside scoop. She would be on the list, but I'm excited to have her. Yeah, I mean, I'm very interested. I didn't get the chance to coach the two of them together. So interested to see how the family dynamics play out. But I know that they're very close. They live together in New York City now. And so they've got someone to practice and train with. So it's a great opportunity for them. And I'm sure the team will welcome them with open arms.
The 18th pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the Boston Guard select Kristen O'Neill, midfielder, Penn State. With the 19th pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the California Palms select Jackie Wolak, midfielder, Notre Dame. With the 20th pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the New York Charging select Megan Tyrell, attack, Syracuse.
We are excited to bring back Meg to our squad. She is a lefty we were in need of after losing Kylie, and we didn't have Meg in this last Champ Series. We're excited to have her back.
Colleen, bringing back Meg Tyrell, Meg Carney duo from the Syracuse days. What did you see from them in the 2025 Champ Series that you liked and you are excited about this upcoming year?
We talked about chemistry on the defensive end. They had natural chemistry on the offensive end. So I'm really excited to have more time to build off of it, where you just get such a short period of time at Champ Series. So just having that, we have a couple natural chemistry duos going on. So trying to build that, because you have a longer time over the summer, but also like short snippets of time when you guys get to play over the weekend. So the more natural chemistry you can have, the better.
With the 21st pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the New York Charging select Nat Smith, midfielder, Syracuse.
We're excited to round out our pick here with Nat, as she brings a lot of speed, aggressive, just all over the field. We are, not as deep in that midfield spot yet as we need to be, and she brings us to a great little ending of our draft series.
With the 23rd pick in the WLL Supplemental Draft, the Boston Guard have selected Nikki Miles, Northwestern.
Getting some Northwestern blood in the BC attack.
With the 25th and final pick of the WLL Supplemental Draft, the Boston Guard have selected Nicole Peroni, midfielder, Louisville.
Lori, can I start with you? You mentioned a couple of times throughout this draft that choosing midfielders was a big focus for you. What have you seen so far from your championship series roster in order to make sure that you built on that for the summer?
You know, in order to help support Cass and Dempsey and Casey Choma, I think we needed a little bit more depth. We have some unbelievable attackers, so wanted really to support those guys in this format. Also, you know, the draw is going to be a huge focal piece too. I think Tracy and I had nightmares for weeks after Sam Smith in the All-Star game. So Carl picked up a really great one there. So, you know, that has been a point of emphasis going forward.
I was just going to ask about Sam Smith, Carl, and how you see her fitting in with the rest of the midfielders and defensive unit that you've chosen so far. I know it was defense heavy for you in this draft, but putting that all together, what are you hoping to see out of a just champion winning New York Charging this summer?
Yeah, Sam was our number one pick going in to the prior draft for many reasons, not just the draw. She's a beast. She's a workhorse. She does everything on the field. She can score, she can defend, she could kind of play anything for us. So we were building off of our championship roster and kind of like filling in the missing pieces, pumped to get Meg T back on that lefty side and hope to grow off of that after the college draft. But yeah, honestly, we're just really excited to have some more legs in the midfield, some more anchors on the defensive end, getting, you know, Delaney as another goalie with us, and then building off of there.
Maddie, speed is one of the main things that your Palms team has and showcased in Champ Series. But another thing that they were talking about a lot was how much fun the group has together. Is that something you looked for when you were looking for each of these draftees?
Definitely. Our culture is huge. Our core group is really important to us, and building around that was something we wanted to focus on, along with bringing in really competitive, gritty, smart lacrosse players. So we're so excited that this went really well for us. Really looking forward to training camp in summer.
Emily, the Champ Series might not have ended the way that you and your squad wanted it to. How do you feel like this draft will help you guys bounce back in the summer?
Yeah, I think, you know, disappointed by the performance for Champ Series, but also have to have some perspective that, you know, it's a team that's still trying to figure out who we are, still trying to figure out, you know, how we function together.
Lori, how do you think that this draft here and your pickups kind of affect where you go with the college draft next month?
I'm really thrilled about the picks that we picked up on the attacking end, obviously complementing, like I said, a huge pickup in Kenzie as a lefty to help balance the field. She's such a playmaker and such an unbelievable feeder. And then to have Rachel Clark alongside Charlotte North is awesome. But then moving to the college draft, I mean, clearly we're the only team that has one goalie on the roster right now. So that's going to be something that we are eyeing up. And, you know, trying to get maybe another defensive personnel.
Yeah, I'm kind of opposite ended of Laurie a little bit, where I'm looking more on like the offensive end, where I kind of built my back end on this first draft, and then really looking into the college girls to fill in the gaps on our attacking end and or where we might need, you know, one more position. But we're pretty solid on the D end, and then we'll kind of look for middies and attackers to fill those spots with the college draft.
It's such an awesome opportunity for these college athletes. I'm so excited to keep their lacrosse careers going. I watch a lot of college lacrosse with my high school girls and my sister who's still in college. So I'm just going to be looking for really honey badger, gritty, good teammate players, and who won't be intimidated coming into the pro scene right out of college. and can hit the ground running.
Yeah, we went heavy in midfield and offense. So really just looking to balance out our defenders. We've got Meg and Abby as a solid core, with Kaylee in the net and Pauline as our backup. So probably just looking to fill in from the college level on who can help us out defensively, who's going to mesh well with the unit, and go from there.